A little bit of a delay in the Coke can there, fellas. Hang on one sec. God damn it, Jaffe, you old moron. Hang on. Welcome to Gabbing Games, Joel Sosos. It's a Sunday edition of the show. I have a gut feeling that we're going to have all kinds of crazy technical problems today, but that's okay. Just, settle in. We'll have a good time. I'm just trying to get the chat on the screen, and we will begin. But yeah, we're doing Sunday because this last week there was so much other kind of rigmarole that was going on that it was just, there you are, you all so's and so'ses and so'ses. It was hard to get an actual couple of shows off, so I appreciate you being patient. If you were waiting for it, I know people have been asking. And here we are. Welcome to Gabbing Games, the Sunday edition. Let me just kick this off right away by making something very, very clear. I don't have data about God of War slipping, God of War Ragnarok. That's not what the title says. That's why it says parentheses, in my opinion. So when we get to that segment in the show, which will be a little bit later, and if that's the main reason you're here, not a problem, pal, I will timestamp this tonight or tomorrow. Understand that it's going to be more about assessing some things I heard over the weekend that made me think some things, right? So that's coming up in the show. And as well as always, of course, super chats are welcome. Call-ins are absolutely free on the Discord. I will not be getting to the typical chat. This is more of a delivery show other than people calling in and things like that. But I will be looking at the chat from time to time. So if there is something you want to say, I'll check it when we get to it. So here we go. Of course, I want to wish everyone who celebrates a happy. Now I'm bad at this. Today is I think tonight's the beginning of the holiday. It's not called Eid Mumbarak. I can't do it. That's what you say, I guess, when you meet somebody who celebrates. It's like happy this holiday. But the holiday is to celebrate the end of the fasting month of Ramadan for all the Muslim folks out there. And so happy this Eid. Oh, come on now. I even looked up how to say it earlier and I've already forgotten. Come on now. Something with an F in it. It doesn't matter. I hope you have a great holiday. Apparently the holiday duration is different depending on what country you're in. But there's gifts and food and celebrations. And it's a whole hootenanny. So you guys who celebrate, have a great time. And there you go. All right. Did I look? That's what I need right there, fellas. Okay. So I also want to let you know, coming up next weekend, I don't have the actual times yet, is Jaffe Mania. Here you can see the fighters that we have revealed so far. Still doing a little bit of work on them. This is me. I might make some changes. Of course, there's Corey Barlog. He'll be fighting. There's a bunch of mystery people. We got Kojima has announced he is coming to fight. And then, of course, there's Big Bad Jimmy Ryan, the Sony head of PlayStation there. So there's going to be probably about 7 to 15 different industry types showing up. Designers, executives, YouTube people, what have you. I am looking for members to control some of the characters. So if anyone's interested in being a, quote, performer of one of these legends, hit me up on the Discord, and we'll figure it all out for you. But anyway, this is coming up, I think, next week, probably Sunday, but I'll let you know a little bit later in the week when I get everything sorted. There's first super chat of the day. Thank you, buddy. 7 of the 9 drops super chat. He says, Jaffe, if God of War is delayed, I'm fine with it. You can't rush game development, so they need to take the time. They need to get it right. Of course. Absolutely, of course. There is... if it's delayed, it's delayed. It's no big deal. I mean, things get delayed, right? I don't even think, I could be wrong on this, but I don't even think God of War ever launched at Christmas season or holiday season, right? I think it's always been a spring release because the teams always, back from the very first one and the second one I worked on, always miss what we want, which is a holiday release. So we'll have to see what happens, but we'll get to it. We'll talk about it. But I agree with you 1,000%, 7, that take the time to get it right. Take time to get it right. All right, let's jump right into the news. Truth Teller says, "I wish Corey Barlog would hop in here and do the stream with you sometimes." Problem is, I mean, it's been made pretty clear to me that this stream has kind of pushed a number of people away, and that's okay. I knew that was a potential. I don't think Sony's going to allow any of their people on this show in the near future, but, it is what it is. Corey knows he has an open invitation. All those guys do, but I would be stunned if you saw him here on this show. But he's obviously more than welcome any and every single time he wants. But for now, I want to tell you, this is breaking news. You're not going to get this anywhere else except everywhere on the internet. But it is just coming out today because in Sunday in America, well, I guess it's Sunday everywhere. Well, I don't know what time it is. This came out in the UK Sunday, so yesterday. But it's letting you know what's happening in the box charts over in the UK. And as we always say, when it comes to video games, other than FIFA, as goes the UK, goes America in terms of things that sell. The number one game, can you guess the number one game this week or from last week? Can anybody in the chat? I'll look at the chat right now. Fuck you, you motherfuckers. Let me tell you something right now. You'll get the news when I give the fucking news. Go look it up, you goddamn. I want this. Well, come back when it's time stamped, you motherfucker. God damn. And my favorite part is the people who were showing up and asking. It's like, I want this news now. I don't see a membership by your goddamn name. I don't see you paying a goddamn lickety-split dollar to come here and be part of this. Fuck you. Go fuck your mother some more. Here we go. Why doesn't Sony let people come on the show? I don't understand. Somebody got it right in the chat. Who was it? It was King of the North, Switch Sports. Miguel of ours, Switch Sports. That's right. Number one, to compare the game, this is from Game Industry Biz. It's the number one immediately on release. To compare it to other Nintendo party games, it sold more than double what Mario Party did, 8 times what Just Dance did. That's not first party, of course. It also sold more than 6 times what Ring Fit Adventure did. So it's off to the races with Nintendo Switch Sports. It'll be interesting to see how much of it puts to bed. Oh, I got to tell you something. Okay. I'm not going to get into details, but let's just say I worked with some. Well, okay. It to some extent puts to bed. Everyone's like, Wii Sports was one of the best-selling games ever, and it's like, yeah, but it was packed in with the Wii. It's a bundle, that's like saying Sonic is the best-selling game or Combat on Atari is the best-selling game. Come on now. But clearly, this kind of helps the narrative of, yeah, even though it was packed in, it's still great. There have been subsequent sports games for Wii Sports that have not been packed in and have still done well, not as good as the first one. But this is interesting that this is blowing out the doors on sales, and it's not a pack-in. So maybe people genuinely also, besides it being a pack-in, they really love this kind of game. I'm looking forward to it. It's got really good reviews. But what I was going to tell you is I worked with a guy before who had made a pack-in. And it had done really well because it was a pack-in. And I'm not going to tell you what pack-in it was. And we were sitting around having some game design debate. And I was like, and I didn't say it this way, but I kind of implied, I was kind of like, dude, neither one of us are Neil Druckmann. Neither one of us are Kojima in terms of consistent sellers. But come on, man. The only hit you've ever made is a game that was a pack hit. And this guy's convinced that he made a hit too. It's like, well, you did, but the heavy lifting was done because it was a pack. It doesn't matter. The point is, Nintendo Switch Sports is number one. Listen to this. Lego Star Wars dropped, not bad, only 25% drop week on week. It has to settle for second. A lot more PS5 stock is continuing to make the waters very muddy when we try to figure out what is causing things to sell and what actual software the public wants because they want the software or because they got new hardware. This is what I mean. More PS5 stock has arrived in the UK. That helps Gran Turismo 7 jump 152% to number 3. Listen to this one. Horizon Forbidden West jumps to 4, 52% rise. Think about that. So it is impossible for, one of the stories, not even a story, I'll just jump to it right now. I'll tell you, the director of Horizon Forbidden West, Matthias de Jong, I think is how you say it, he said in an interview with VG247, he says, this game, meaning Forbidden West, ends with another big cliffhanger. He wouldn't give the specifics in case he didn't want to spoil it, where we're setting up things for the next game once again. Now, that's not obviously an official announcement of the sequel, but clearly they're thinking it's done well enough that it's on their minds. So it's really hard for me to judge Horizon Forbidden West sales given the Elden Ring and given the competition and given the issue with hardware. So is it a big hit? Is it going to be a number, another 20 million? Who the fuck knows at this point? Maybe Sony doesn't even know. They're like, I don't know how to judge how successful we are. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is back in the top 10. So here's your top 10 in boxes in Europe. Animal Crossing, Kirby, Grand Theft Auto, Elden Ring is 6. It's climbed up 1. Mario Kart is 4. Elden Ring is 7. Sorry. Mario Kart is 6. Pokemon Legends is 5, Horizon is 4, Gran Turismo is 3, Lego is 2, Nintendo Switch Sports comes in at number 1. Let's see who holds. Here's some sticky shit, baby. Elden Ring ain't going anywhere. Animal Crossing, of course, ain't going anywhere. Pokemon ain't going anywhere. I'm real curious to see how specifically Horizon hangs on, Kirby hangs on, and Lego Star Wars hangs on. So we will see. I'll see you back here next week, fellas. And we'll see what's going on. Hey, listen to this now. Warner Brothers, for a while there, if you remember Discovery and Warner Brothers merged, or Discovery bought Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers, you've probably seen the lead news has been going around saying, hey, we're not happy with the Warner Brothers movies, says new management. We want Superman pulled out of mothballs. You guys are handling these brilliant, wonderful, beautiful properties terribly. Shit's going to change around these parts, right? I think that's great. Because I love DC Comics. Not as much as Marvel, but I love DC Comics. There was news at the time that was being said, that Warner Brothers wanted to, quote, bolster its gaming division. This is actually from comicbook.com. Suggesting it would invest more games based on properties like DC. So maybe not. But then it turns out Imran Khan. Now, this is the same fella. He works for the Tencent-owned Fanbyte. I think this is the same guy that was throwing some shade at some other fucking thing, and it was like, dude, how you gonna complain about that when you take your paycheck from Tencent? But anyway, here's what he says. I guess he's a reporter over at Fanbyte. He says, look, I couldn't get enough information to actually write a post about it, but I'm hearing a decent bit of chatter this week about Warner Brothers Discovery shopping their game dev studios around. According to Imran, interested parties include EA, Take-Two, Microsoft, Sony, Tencent, NetEase, and PUBG Corp. Warner Brothers wants to sell studios and license IP, supposedly. That's an interesting way he wrote it. Warner Brothers wants to sell studios and license IP. Is license IP a verb or a noun? Is he saying they want to sell studios and they want to license their IP? Or do they want to sell studios and they also they want to also sell licensed IP? I don't know. Probably it's a verb. So they want to license IP out and whatnot. So at that point, what are you really getting? Right? If you buy NetherRealm, or if you buy all of their development studios, if you buy what are they called? Not Turtle Rock, the guys who do Arkham, Rocksteady, I think they're called, or something like that. But then you have to separately license out Batman, or you have to separately license out, Mortal Kombat. I mean, yes, these are some of the best developers in the business. It ain't nothing. But you'd think all that needs to come together. But, Microsoft, I don't know, man. Microsoft probably isn't going to be acquiring much of anything really big, or at least Xbox, until the Activision deal is closed. So that does leave Sony wide open, although I don't know. Think about that. What would you get if you could get exclusives? You would have, my God, can you imagine? You would have Marvel and DC, so you could eventually do a DC versus Marvel fighting game. Come on now. Obviously, you've got, you don't have Capcom yet. Wink. You don't have Capcom yet, but you have Evo. I mean, so having a studio that can do fighting games like NetherRealm, can you imagine them finally doing a Smash Bros. For Sony and giving it to those guys? I mean, it'd be a good get for Sony. Absolutely. EA's a weird one to hear that they're interested in buying. Maybe the studios. But anyway, there you go. This news will be developing, it sounds like, in any minute. So we'll take a look. By the way, tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, Blizzard is announcing a Warcraft mobile game. I think it's tomorrow. May 3rd. Is that tomorrow? No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Now, I got to tell you something. I was pretty excited about Diablo Immortal, which is their mobile game that they've announced is now coming to PC. Beta's happening now. I haven't gotten in, but I think it comes out officially in June. It looks like a mobile game, but it also looks like a Diablo game, and it looks fun, and it's free, and it's on your PC. Fuck it, I'm going to try it. Well, this is their other one. This is in February. Big, bad, evil, hopefully going to jail, Bobby Kotick. Not because I'm saying he's guilty of anything, but he probably is, but I don't know that for a fact. But he seems guilty. February, he said, Blizzard plans to get all new mobile Warcraft content into players' hands for the first time in 2022. A year earlier, they revealed multiple free-to-play Warcraft mobile games were deep in development. I don't know what this is. I don't think anyone does yet. Which one are they showing? Is it Warcraft like real-time strategy on your fucking phone? Is it Warcraft like an MMO? Is it a Hearthstone spin-off? Who the fuck knows? But this will be being announced this Tuesday, so stay tuned. I was about to bring in the man who laughs who was in the phone call, and he vanished. I'm here for you, pal, if you want to discuss whatever the fuck you wanted to discuss.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
I really am, but I have to let you know, Stray, the cat game, come on now, the cat game from Annapurna has been pushed to the summer. I guess it was going to be heading out earlier this year, but the news kind of broke. It wasn't really news. PlayStation released a trailer that had Stray, which is the game where you control the cat in the sci-fi universe, kind of like Blade Runner meets a cat. And then We Are OFK, which is the game from one of my favorite artists in the industry, Nafisa Tung. She's the art director on it. She worked with me on Drawn to Death. That is about kind of the indie band. It's kind of like a cross between a indie band, narrative, adventure, record thing. It's kind of interesting. And then Cult of the Lamb is also going to be heading out in the summer. My understanding is people are excited about the kitty cat game. I worry, look, I don't worry at all because it's Annapurna. Annapurna can do wrong, but for the most part, they do no wrong. They are really consistent with quality and engaging video games. So I was going to say I kind of worry it's kind of bug snacksy, that everyone's all excited about Stray because it's cute. And then it's just like, yeah, we were excited because it was cute, but nobody really wants to play it. I don't know if that's going to be this, because there's nothing in the gameplay that looks that compelling. It's just a kind of a platform exploring thing. If it wasn't a cat, people wouldn't even be talking about it. I'm not saying that's bad. It's good marketing. That's good concept development. I'm just saying I still know what the fucking game is, but it's Annapurna, so I have a lot of faith in those fellas. Maxwell, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Here's what he says. He says, "Oh my God, Jaffe, that wink when you said PlayStation doesn't have Capcom yet. People are going to go crazy and theorize. I am sure I don't know what you mean, sir. I have facial tics because I take ADD medicine. If there was a wink that you perceived as a wink, that's on you. Wink. There was nothing about what I was doing sending any kind of communications. Do you understand? Okay, I just want to be clear that there was no intention. But thank you, Maxwell, for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, I mean, honestly, everybody's theorizing Capcom is going to Sony, but Capcom may be going nowhere. I don't know. But I do think it's going to Sony. Sony's got to get in there. They got to buy some shit. Come on, Sony. Everybody's doing it. Get in there and buy some shit. Okay. Speaking of Sony, hang on a second. Speaking of Sony, I want to tell you first, we'll talk about Xbox, then we'll talk about Sony. Wink, wink, wink. This is because Jeeves says Jaffe starts winking uncontrollably. That's right. Jacob comes in with, no one's purchasing anything. It's like when Dad gets home from work. Dad, we're going to the mall. Nobody's buying shit at the mall. Anyway, listen to me. We're going to talk about something with Xbox, then we'll get to Sony. Something Elon Musk said today about Xbox and Halo. It's kind of weird. It's kind of wacky. But before we get there, I do want to let you know briefly about this. My buddy, Rotten Tanuki over at Day One Patch Kids, wants to let you know, and I want to let you know for him, that he has some of the coolest merch available. T-shirts, towels, buttons, stickers, posters, even fucking shower curtains I saw over there, made up of the Day One Patch Kids. They're the cutest, grossest little fucking things you've ever seen in your life. They're a blend between the Garbage Pail Kids and your video game favorites, and you can get them all now over at day1patchkids.com. That is from Rotten Tanuki, and when you get over there, lick his butthole. He seems to like it. You might get a 5% discount. I don't know if that's true, but I know he likes it. This is why I don't have like ads from, not respectable brands, but, McDonald's, would you like to be on my show? Sure, Jaffe, send us a version of you reading an ad. Ronald McDonald will suck your dick if you go buy French. I don't fucking know, but the point is, Rotten Tanuki, Day One Patch Kids, check him out. The other thing I want to let you know, time's a-wasting on this. This is pretty cool. This is Dog. One of our God of War members is directing this and wrote this. It is a movie about a vampiress who is into the kink. And she goes to a kinky club in Europe, and she takes home two experimental people, a man and a woman. She says, come back to my little place. They go to their castle, her castle, wherever she lives, and shit goes south real fast. It's a vampire, BDSM, horror, cult classic in the making. They are looking for investors. What that means is if you put some money in and it does well, and these days shit sells to Amazon. Hell, I saw a movie on Amazon the other day about a sofa that kills people. Literally, that guy got his movie on Amazon, a sofa that kills people. So if they can get the funding to make this, they'll pick it up. It means if you invest in it, you actually can see some money at the other end. So hit them up in the link tree. All these are on the link tree down below. This is Dog. Now, I want to tell you something about our friend, Elon Musk. Hang on, I gotta get a little bubbly here. Listen, now you may know this. But I'm a pretty big deal. I'm a pretty important guy, but I'm not as important as Elon Musk, okay? So maybe Phil Spencer will listen to Elon because he ain't listening to me about the management problems over at Microsoft. Here's what he tweeted. Now, Elon Musk, you always got to check. Is this a parody account? No, this is actually Elon Musk. Here, I'll show it to you so you can believe me. He says, I'm going to buy Xbox next, and he's kidding, of course. I'm going to buy Xbox next and make sure there's never the drought of games that those poor fans have had for so many years. I'm also going to fire 343 and make Halo great again. You think it's, come on, man. This guy is going to get into it with the Xbots. Now, I don't like the console wars, but this is something I'll pay a goddamn front row seat ticket for. Suddenly imagine the Xbox version of that prick who was yelling at me on the Roundtable podcast a couple weeks back. Imagine that version, but for Xbox, yelling at Elon Musk. He'll probably just send a Tesla out to run over the son of a bitch and put him out of his misery. But joking aside, though, in the joke is the truth. In the joke is the kernel of authenticity. And in this, he's saying what we all know, which is like, hey, man, Xbox is great. It is great. Game Pass is phenomenal. But come on, man. Put some fucking games out. More importantly, fucking fix Halo. Elon Musk, this comes from Elon Musk. Come on now. Jaffe, that's a fake account, says this guy. No, it's not. Let's take a look at it. Let's go to Elon Musk. Let's go to his actual account. Elon Musk. God damn it, Jaffe. If I got tricked by a fake account, I'm going to be so mad. But I might have. Fuck you, Rathy. Rathy says that's a fake tweet. You know what? Let me tell you something. Here's what I got to tell you guys, okay? I'm looking at it right now, and I got to tell you this. This is a fake tweet. It's not real. It is a not real tweet. So the news what I was going to say was, haha, April Fools, I got you. Let's move on, shall we? Hey, there's a super chat here. Carl, hey! Carl B-Man says, Rygar, the legendary adventure close to God of War. It's really not, Carl. Let me bring that up. Let's get Elon Musk off the screen as fast as possible. Rygar PS2. Now, somebody mentioned this, and if you're listening to the stream on the podcast, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm putting up gameplay of Rygar. Let me turn down the volume. Shut up. When this, fuck you. Fuck you. GKN says, Jaffe, that's a fake account. Fuck you. I've moved on. Listen, somebody, I don't know who it was who brought up Rygar. But someone was like, Jaffe, did you take inspiration, from Rygar? Oh, fuck you, Nonya. Nonya Business says, I can't believe anyone thought that was really Elon Musk. Really? Look, I can be forgiven for that. Okay, have you seen the tweets the man puts out? He puts out crazy shit in the middle of the night. This is not some buttoned-up Jim Ryan executive who only tweets after it's cleared legal and PR. The motherfucker had to pay, I think it was the Security Exchange Commission, because he fucking went on Joe Rogan and talked about some crazy shit that caused the stock to plummet. Motherfucker. Shut up, Jacob Martin. Here we go. Let's move forward. Anyway, they're asking about Rygar and God of War. So I first heard of Rygar when we were deep into development on God of War, and I was terrified because I was like, okay, this is not some shitty game, because there was like a game like about Jason and the Argonauts that scared me that I saw it at E3, and I was like, oh, fuck you, it's nothing, right? But this is coming, I think, from Namco or Bandai. This is like a big company made this. I forget who it was. And, you know, I was worried because it's like, oh, it's Greek mythology. And I was like, well, that's what we're doing. But then when you actually play it, I mean, the manual says certain things are Medusas and stuff. This does not feel Greek mythology to me. There's nothing about the Greek myths. It's not like Kid Icarus. It's very, like, that's some Greek mythology creature. It's a fucking caterpillar, right? So no, it didn't bother me at all, but I have heard people mention it, like, oh, well, what about the chain thing? We ripped off the chain thing from Shinobi's scarf. We didn't even think about it in this context. Okay. You know what I like in the chat real quick? I'm gonna move on. I'm going to move on, but there's a guy in the chat who said, it's Victor Guerrero says, sorry, but God of War sucked in my opinion. First off, what are you sorry about? No, you're not. If you were, because what are you apologizing for, Victor? What is it actually that you, besides attention, what are you trying to communicate that you need attention? Which is fine. I don't care if you think God of War sucks, but don't put sorry in front of it. Because are you apologizing for being an asshole? Then just don't be an asshole. It's not like the apology came after you were an asshole. You literally apologized before the act of being an asshole. So I don't understand. It's okay you didn't like the games that I made. I don't give a fuck. My God, man. But think about that. Think about what are you going for? You're here with the creator, director, lead writer of the franchise, and you're saying it sucked. Okay, like what is that supposed to be like I don't get it. Fuck you, Jacob Martin, you piece of shit. He says he just super chatted it. He says, hey, you guys remember when Jaffe thought the Elon tweet was real? Fuck you, stupid idiot. He's goddamn right. You're going to hell. Okay, let's move the fuck on. Hey, listen. We got some rumors that are looking pretty good, pretty accurate. FIFA 22, which we already know dropped on PS Now this month, and right when NBA 2K22 just dropped on Xbox Game Pass. Well, FIFA 22 and Battlefield 2042 are both being rumored to be hitting Game Pass very, very soon. The reason is because the Xbox Game Pass icons have been added to the store listing. So if you go to a game that on the Xbox store and it's for sale, it'll say $29.95, you know, and it'll have a clickable button. But if it's on Game Pass also, there'll be a Game Pass icon next to it you can click on, right? Apparently those icons have been added to these two games. So we could be getting FIFA 22 and Battlefield 2042 on the Game Pass. I don't care much about FIFA. I don't even care much about Battlefield 2042. I played the beta and didn't like it. But I know that EA just released like a mega patch a couple of days ago. I don't know if this is Rainbow Six Siege, where it will have the lore of, oh, it launched horribly and it became this big deal. But clearly they're putting a lot of energy into trying to turn the ship around. So, hell, it's free. I'll give it a play and see what I think. That's coming out, hopefully. We'll get a confirmation this week. It looks like it might be a second half of May. You know how they do that? They tell you the first half, then they tell you the second half. These look like second halves. June 12th, you goddamn right, it's a Sunday. I'll be getting up early. Hopefully you'll be getting up early with me. 10 o'clock in the goddamn morning. 10 o'clock in the goddamn morning is the Xbox Bethesda showcase has been announced. Obviously, everyone is assuming Starfield will be there. Some people are speculating Fable, which I don't think is going to be there. Maybe a trailer, like a rendered trailer, or pre-rendered. Forza Motorsport, they say, is going to be there. And then, you know, I would love to see Indiana Jones. I don't know if that's going to show up. I don't know what's going to be there other than obviously Starfield seems like it will. But yeah, I'm super excited for this to see what they have, because both companies really right now have anemic lineups for the next 6 months, assuming that Starfield doesn't make it and assuming that Ragnarok, which we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes, does actually slip. And even if it doesn't slip, it's a great game, but it's one game. I mean, it's the state of the business. It's how it used to be. You'd have like 3 games coming from Sony over the holidays. Now it's like you're lucky if you get one. I guess we'll get God of War, and maybe we'll get the Naughty Dog Factions or the remake. Who the fuck knows? They don't have to say anything. They're making tons of money, but I wish they would, just because I want to know. I should just call them and say, I want to know. They're also saying they're going to show Scorn. Scorn can fuck off, right? Scorn has been around. I'm going to show you a little bit of Scorn while we're talking. Now, Scorn looks like a crackerjack of a game. It's fucking gorgeous. Check this shit out. This is Scorn, if you haven't seen it. It's like a Geiger painting. Hey, come back now. It's longer than that. Scorn's not like 5 seconds long, is it? But they've been showing it. It's been in an alpha for their Kickstarter for a very long time. This has been on and on and on. And they never show any real fucking gameplay. It's like, at this point, who gives a shit? If you guys don't show up with Scorn and it's not showing A, genuine gameplay, and B, really some cool shit, fuck off. Fuck off, because I'm sick of hearing about it. But the one that's exciting, or at least has me excited, is what In Exile is doing. And again, I don't know. I think Scorn is Game Pass. I don't know. But we know that In Exile, the Brian Fargo studio that's been purchased by Microsoft, they've released this screenshot. The rumor has been for a while that they are moving on from like Wasteland style isometric, which again, if you haven't played Wasteland 3, it's awesome. But they've been making, this is their big first foray into next gen open world first person. This is a screenshot from it. They're doing it on Unreal 5. There's nothing there yet. This is not going to be, it may be announced, but it ain't coming out for at least a year and a half, maybe a lot more. But this, apparently they've announced this is the Bard's Tale, which I think is stupid. No one cares about the fucking Bard's Tale who isn't my age and a little older. I'm not saying the Bard's Tale is a bad series of games. It's not. But at this point, if you're putting out a brand new game and you're calling it Bard's Tale 5, come on, man. Nobody gives a fuck about Bard's Tale. Just make a new thing. You can have all the lore that you've built. You can make it exactly what you're making. But nobody gives a. I need to know what happened. Remember the Apple IIe classic Bard's Tale 2 when the Bard was telling the tale and there was a. No, I don't, because it was decades ago. Just make some new shit you can build a new brand on. But anyway, this looks, it's a screenshot. Who the fuck knows what it is? But I'm excited to see that company that has been consistently great at making RPGs evolve or stretch to do their work, but do it in more of a immersive, not gameplay immersive, but presentation immersive factor. So this is a screen grab. Hopefully we'll at least get an announcement over on the 12th of the Microsoft show. One other thing about Starfield, you guys had to have seen this. This happened early last week, but it's the first time we have a chance to talk about it. There was an artist who's no longer at Bethesda. And somebody asked him, I think it was on Reset Era, somebody asked him, hey, how was your time there? This is the question from somebody. Is Todd Howard as charismatic as he looks in his interviews? And I got to ask, how's Starfield looking? Do you think it'll hit release date? Let me just tell you exactly what he said. It was a cool, solid place to work. Very secure. This is the artist. He has not been named, but the engine is a piece of crap, though. Todd is a charismatic guy for sure. Starfield is looking good. Weekly Thursday playtest since the beginning of the year. More and more stuff coming online. Shooting feels all right. Flying is terrible at the moment, in my opinion. Just not fun to me. Lighting and stuff is looking better and better, though it's not on the level. It's not on the level of Horizon Forbidden West or anything like that, but it's still good looking. In terms of if it will ship, well, they will try, that's for sure. They'll cut what they did to make it. They have an overabundance of content, probably too much, so that's not the issue. Finding the fun and, of course, bug fixing is the big thing. It's a sexy date, though, kind of. It's sexy because, what is it, like 11/11, or I don't know. It means something. I don't fucking know. I forget, what, 11/11/22? How is that a sexy date? And you only get one of those. Beta is this summer. That's when the picture will become clear. So, we'll see. I mean, again, people in the world of console wars have taken this to be like, haha, see, it won't look as good as Horizon. Most things won't look as good as Horizon. I don't know if I think Ratchet and Clank is better looking than Horizon, but between those two, those are the prettiest goddamn video games I've ever seen in my goddamn life. They are gorgeous, and I think, yeah, if you're expecting Bethesda, that has never really been known for brilliant visuals, to be competing with the powerhouses of technical visual quality that Sony has, no, that's not a talking point against Starfield. That's like, yeah, no shit. The only thing that really concerns me is the finding the fun part. I mean, is that him talking? We don't know. Is that him saying, I don't think it's very fun, but I like fighting games, right? Or is the team consistently like, dude, time's getting short, Todd. We got to find the fun. It's good. It ain't a classic. What do we do? If it's that, yeah, maybe they will delay it. Who knows? But there's a little newsy news for you. This guy, I don't think he's been named yet. I do not believe he has been named yet. Although Jason Schreier has verified that the person is who they say they are. So I guess he was part of his book Press Reset, or he has enough familiarity with who this leaker is to say, yes, this is a guy who worked recently at Bethesda. Beyond that, though, who the fuck knows? Okay. Speaking of Jason Schreier, let me go to the chat for a minute first. I got a super chat I want to get, which I appreciate. 7 of the 9 says, Jaffe, you literally created my favorite video game character of all time. I'm extremely grateful to you and the team who brought Kratos to life. I appreciate that, buddy. I didn't literally create him, though. I created him literally created him with a team of a lot of other people. But on behalf of all of us, I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat. Hey, Jojo D. There's Jojo D. Thank you for that. And I love that you love our shit, man. I love that you love our shit. That means a great deal. The older I get, the cooler it is to learn that the stuff we did actually, had a real impact. Lyro says, Jaffe, if you didn't like 10 cents offer, they didn't offer. They said, let's have a chat about $100 million video game that we would want to talk to you about directing. That's as far as it got. And I said, no, thank you, because you're 10 cent. Lyro says, if you don't like 10 cents offer, why not tell Musk about giving you the exact 100 million to you instead? Because I don't want to make video games anymore, at least right now. Fable is not far enough along, says Jason Max, to have polished gameplay. Sure, I agree. But I think maybe they will have a pre-rendered trailer is all I was saying. Xbox needs to show gameplay, says Eddie T. They always show generic trailers Yeah, no, they absolutely do, 100%. They absolutely need to show gameplay in June, especially for fucking Starfield. Truth Teller says, Jaffe, rumors indicate Phil Spencer received content from all the studios. They have content to show. Well, sure, but it doesn't mean they will. I mean, when I was at Sony, that's exactly what happened. Is it's like, hey, we have this show coming up. There were always these meetings where marketing and PR and the head of the company, whoever it was at that time, would it's like, hey, we need a build for that meeting. And everybody sends their builds over, and then a couple weeks later, it's like, okay, here's our lineup for E3. So I'm sure they all have content, but whether or not it's showable, or Phil Spencer, if he's the one who makes the call, which I assume he is, thinks that all of it is worth showing at that show, that's a different conversation. Scorn is coming to Game Pass in October, says No Dog. Great. Hopefully they'll actually decide to put some gameplay in there. That would be excellent. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat, then we're going to get on to talking about Activision briefly. Jojo G says, Bethesda ships buggy games all the time. People will pay for a broken game, report the bugs, and allow me a less buggy game when I buy it. Unless you have Game Pass, you have to buy it at all. But, you know, it is interesting, though, Jojo D, that idea that Bethesda has now become the bug studio. It's like, they're bugs. They're not cyberpunk bugs. At least as far as I know. I played Skyrim the week of release. It was kind of buggy, but it didn't get in the way of it being a brilliant fucking game. I mean, I understand Fallout is I don't look. I'm not saying the reputation is not earned. I just think it's weird that that's now become like the only thing you guys think about. You don't think about Fallout. You don't think about Elder Scrolls. It's like they've made some pretty big fucking deal games, but you know. But hey, you know, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I'm looking forward to it if it comes out, or when it comes out. Beats, what AAA game would you make for $100 million? Says Beats. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Not a very big one. Most AAA games, I mean, cost well more than $100 million. But okay. If I had a gun to my head and someone said, Jaffe, you have to go direct another AAA game. And it's carte blanche, man, whatever you want to do. The two things I would explore at that level, although 100 million probably isn't enough, one of them would be the kind of like a flooded town story meets Resident Evil, but I've talked about it before. And then the other one would be, there was a time when I really wanted to do a blend of kind of like a Michael Bay over-the-top action movie about a secret agent who is a vampire. I know that sounds crazy, but I think secret agent with vampire powers done at like incredibly sleek graphics, really sexy, you know, all the characters are actually wearing, you know, suits and shit that we have designed by, you know, Armani and shit for the game. I mean, really a high-end boutique-y, over-the-top action movie style game about America's secret agent who's like done all these amazing things through eternity for America because he's immortal, he won't die for the most part, but he's a secret agent. That would be the one I would want to play around with, but I really don't want to do anything right now except this. I'm having fun doing this. Yes, Break the Loop says, Jaffe, when you were at Sony, did you have input and direction on your trailers? Absolutely, yes. If yes, was that a fun endeavor? Yes. It was very fun because it allowed me to be very specific on what I wanted to show. And by the way, if I may briefly, I got some shit a few weeks ago when I said the Ragnarok trailer looks like DLC. And more importantly, let me just put a fine point on it. The Ragnarok trailer makes the game that they're advertising look like more of the same. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not going to relitigate that. Okay, but that was my impression of it. Well, that's exactly what I mean, Break the Loop. When I was cutting the trailers, and I was editing them. Some of them I literally edited myself, and some of them I was just sitting with the editor, depending on what it was. But it was always, there was a sense of we need to show this new thing. We need to hype people about this. We have, you'd sit with PR and marketing and go, when do we want to reveal this weapon? When do we, it is, and that's why the God of War trailer for Ragnarok struck me as so anemic, because I was like, this just kind of seems like it's the game I already played with some new sets and a little bit of better graphics. This is a leak. And it's a rumor, and no one knows if it's true, so maybe it's not a leak. But there's a rumor. Let me tell you what you want in a sequel, in my opinion, and you should want this too, because I know it's good for you. Spider-Man from Insomniac was brilliant. Wasn't as good as Miles, but it was brilliant. One of probably their best-selling game ever as an individual game, I think, but it's up there if it's not. And some news came out the other day, and no one knows, it's not been verified, of course, that in the new Spider-Man from Insomniac in 2023, you play as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, Miles Morales / Spider-Man, and you play as a symbiote Venom-style character that infects Peter Parker, right? Now, I don't know if that's going to be good. I don't know if that's going to be bad. It's Insomniac, so worst case, it'll be really good, but not groundbreaking. Best case, you're going to have your mind blown. Who the fuck knows? But that's what a sequel announcement does, even though that's not the announcement, is you go, and again, they haven't announced it, but I'm saying, then you go, oh, it's what I already loved, and ooh, I get to play Miles and Spider-Man and Venom. Ooh, this is, there's a sense of newness and familiarity. The only thing the God of War trailer gave me was a sense of familiarity. And so again, break the loop, my point being is that yes, when I was cutting the trailers and sitting with marketing and we were cutting the trailers, that was always top of mind, is what are we communicating more than just, hey, this game's coming. Why am I a Santa Monica hater? Ask. I'm going to get back to the news in a second. Why am I a Santa Monica hater? Oh, because they smell so bad. I think his name is Hitcham Elzine. He says, why are you, I can't find it anymore. It's vanished into the ether, but because I don't like them, because they're mean and they smell bad and they're racist, and they're stupid poo-poo heads. BB says, Jaffe, let me call in. You can always call in. Get on the Discord, call me. Jarvie, going back to, what are they called? Bethesda says, Jaffe, it's not that they release bad, buggy games. It's a problem when they refuse to fix them. Hell, Fallout 76 had game-breaking bugs from Skyrim. They expected the fans to fix them. Yeah, well, I mean, again, here's what I will tell you. If it is consistently, chronically that bad, then people will not play Starfield, right? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the fact of the matter remains is Battlefield 2042, for as shitty as it was in terms of bugs and being broken, was still one of the top 5 monetary games for Steam for last year. So I don't know. Okay. Okay, let's move on. You saw this, that Activision Blizzard shareholders approved the company's acquisition or desire to be acquired by Microsoft. Some people were mistaking this for, oh, it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. It's just that the folks who own stock, who are apt to make a good amount of money if this goes through, the vast majority of them have said, yes, we'll take that deal. I think 98% of the voters said we want this. There was a couple of people in a little group that said, don't fucking do this, fellas, until this is going to give Bobby Kotick a golden parachute. Let's get him out, and then let's have this conversation. But 98% were like, fuck your karma, fuck your values. We want our ducats, bitch. It has until June 2023 to close. There is a lot of talk about the new head of the Federal Trade Commission that has been pretty, what's the word? She has been pretty unbending, unmalleable, inflexible. She ain't budging on the fact that she thinks a lot of these big tech companies need to be broken up. Whether you're talking about Instagram and Meta, whether you're talking about Lockheed Martin, she just doesn't like it. It's too much. However, Microsoft and a number of other people, including our very own good pal Mikey Pachter, says, yeah, but this isn't that. They don't know about video games. This is gonna fly through. There's a couple people who think this is gonna happen, and I don't know why I want this to happen. I don't know why, because a lot of people don't like mergers. I saw people in the chat saying, I wish every company would stay independent. There's something about it at this level that I like, and I don't. Like, I want Sony to buy Capcom. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling. I think what it is as a lover of all games, of all budgets, when I sit down to play a AAA game, and that's what it announces as, and that's what it sells as, I know you need just all the resources you can get. And I guess that's a part of it. It's like, holy shit, more and more and more resources being poured in to these things. Kind of like what we saw, even though I know a lot of people don't like Star Wars anymore. Whatever. They don't like the Disney Star Wars. I think Disney Star Wars is doing fine. Solo was great. Rogue One was great. Mandalorian was great. I liked Book of Boba Fett. I even liked parts of all the new trilogies. Okay, but I get it. Some people don't like it. The point is, though, when it was just Lucas and his paltry, $1 billion that he had, how often did we get Star Wars? Before Disney came in with Marvel, how often were we seeing Marvel movies? They were just ramping up. They couldn't have ramped up without these resources. So I'm excited that we might be starting to get these video games that even are bigger and better and brasher. But I'm okay with that because the indie scene is incredibly powerful right now. So as long as I have both, I'm okay. But anyway, the point is there are people saying this merger looks like it's going to not sail through, but get through, and I hope that they are correct. By the way, speaking of a company people are interested in, Ubisoft, don't ask me why, their game Skull and Bones leaked. I'll show it to you while we're talking about it. Let me put this on the screen for you, fellas. Here it is right here. This looks terrible to me. This looks dumb. I loved Black Flag. I thought Black Flag was fucking awesome. And so I don't know if this began as DLC. This has been in production for like 8 years. And the more I hear about it, and this just came out, there's like 4 minutes of gameplay. It just, first off, 95% of it is boat. It's not Black Flag where you're fighting and running and exploring, as far as I understand. You're in the boat. So they're really tripling down on the boat and being the captain and the morale of the team and all this shit. My understanding, though, even in this footage, is when you board an enemy boat, you don't suddenly become the captain of the ship and you're sword fighting. It's just a cutscene based on stats, I think, of how good your stats are. I have no interest in this fucking game, and it looks okay. It doesn't look good. And then you look at all the fucking RPG bloat that's in all the Ubisoft games. That seems present here. The big map to explore seems present here. There is nothing about this that looks appealing to me. I'm going to look at the chat real quick and see if you guys agree or disagree. But when I saw this, I suddenly went from, ooh, I loved Black Flag, I'm totally into this, to, oh, I don't want to play this fucking thing. They're going to add on foot combat, says Zachary, and exploration post-launch. Just you watch. Okay. Saying it's Ubisoft automatically makes it a pass for me, says Brian. Sometimes, yeah. Ubisoft needs help, seriously, says Protus. This is the pinnacle worst open world game design. You know what's funny about it, though, is it's funny because it is that thing of they will keep doing what they're doing because it's working. So people bought the shit out of Valhalla. They'll stop, when the money stops rolling in. But I think it looks terrible. Apparently they can't cancel it. Because this is made in, I think it's Singapore studios, and they're getting subsidized from the government, which has helped them with cost across the board, at least in that studio. It has to be a new IP according to the relationship with the government, and it's got to ship. And there's these criteria for them to get those subsidies, which I guess they've already gotten. So they must be heavy enough that they don't want to pay him back. I don't fucking know. Maybe they think this is a good game. I don't fucking know. It looks terrible. Mass Produce says this looks okay. Rathy says, I was hoping for a good combination of Black Flag and For Honor. Me too. I'm disappointed there's no melee PvP. Having ship-to-ship combat seems lackluster. I agree. RPG says the Assassin's Creed model doesn't turn my crank, so I was fine without the foot stuff, just being on the boat. It still has to be fun. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fact is, whenever Ubisoft has had boat stuff, whether you're talking about when you're on the boat and you're throwing spears at sharks in Black Flag, or you're actually driving the boat, it never really interested me that much. I didn't care all that much for it, but I did love Black Flag. Here's what I will say about this chat that just came across my brain. None ya business, I gotcha. Says all Sony exclusives are a copy of Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed blueprint formula. Changed my mind. This is a generation thing. It's also, if you go on forums and it's like, I don't know, it's like, convince me to, or sell me on buying the new FIFA. No, fuck you. Change your mind. What's in it for me? The fuck, I hate that. I hate that change. Fuck you. I know it's a meme. Fuck you. Change your mind. Miguel says, I think they leaked Skull and Bones to see if they should cancel it. Well, again, my understanding is they're not able to cancel it because of the relationship, but maybe they are. I mean, of course, they have to have a get out of jail card. It won't be for free. Maxwell, thank you for the super chat. He says, I believe EA is going to end up buying Ubisoft. Okay. If you're looking to buy Ubisoft for talent, sure. If you're looking to buy it for IP, though, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Just Dance makes a lot of sense. Is Assassin's Creed really all that big of a deal? I know it's a big seller, but it's a big seller. I mean, I don't know. I just think there's diminishing returns on Assassin's Creed. That's all I'm fucking saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. All right, let us talk about... I did want to mention this. This was interesting. We talked last week about the new policy that has been rumored. Sony hasn't announced it, but it leaked, and just as like the leak for PlayStation Plus 2.0, it'll probably come out in the wash that it's true, because developers have been contacted about this, where Sony at their highest tier is going to be requiring games that cost more than, I think it's $40 at retail, $34 wholesale, to do time trials, 2 hours, maybe more, maybe, there are going to be some special case scenarios, but whatever. And there were a number of people, I was confused by this, there were a number of people that were like, oh, that's going to be really bad for the developer, it's time taken away, and I was like, they're not saying you have to make demos, they're saying you have to make time trials. And I said it would surprise me if Sony didn't already have sort of something that sits on top and just does it for them. Well, lo and behold, that is absolutely accurate. At least according to Ethan Gatch of Kotaku. He says the PlayStation Store team will actually set up the trials on behalf of developers. Here's something else, though, that Ethan Gatch of Kotaku said related. He said, I have heard concerns. It won't be a lot of extra work, but I've heard concerns from others about Sony monetizing a perk and not sharing that revenue with studios. Yeah. I mean, I don't, it's interesting. It also says the game trials could end up, this is Ethan Gatch again, hurting some developers' bottom lines. They can have a major impact on game sales, as Steam developers subject to Valve's storefront 2-hour return policy can attest. Good. If your game is so shitty and so badly designed that in the first 2 hours, and it's longer than 2 hours, otherwise it wouldn't be priced at over $40. So we're not talking about Gone Home, okay? So those kind of indie walking simulators, which I love, won't be affected. Unless some idiot says, let's charge $60 for it. They're talking about big games, AAA games at the high end, and clearly AA games at the high end and AAA games across the spectrum. Well, if your fucking game can't engage the audience for 2 hours, you deserve to have your bottom line hurt. This is a reckoning. The business model has shown up and has demanded of you developers, entertain us. Don't bore us for 2 hours. You don't get to be sloppy and slothy anymore. You don't get to be undisciplined in your design. You fucking entertain on the stage like a movie does, like an album does, like a book has to, or at least, you know, if they want to be successful in this market, or a TV show does, or fuck you. I think it's great. I don't think this is a negative thing. I think it's a great thing, Ethan of Kotaku. Zaf says, I can see now people saying some games got a bad shake with the trials because it doesn't get good till 3 hours more, which is just a bad game then. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. 100%. 100%. Even I agree with Bacon, which is hilarious. I rarely agree with Bacon Magma. It seems everybody's worrying about game dev losing money, but game devs have been shipping terrible games and console platforms refusing refunds. I think this trial is great. Absolutely, I agree with you. It's great not just for consumers in the immediate term when this happens. It's great in that what it will bring to gameplay. Great in that what it will bring to gameplay. Eddie T, thank you, buddy. He says, bring back Pizza Hut demo disc. I don't even want demos. I want just the game. VG says games might start getting pretty front-loaded just to have a ton of action for that trial. Fuck you, is my answer. If your game is only good in the first 2 hours, then fuck you. I mean, think of, because what you're saying then is, think about it for a minute. What you're saying then is that the game developer is only capable of making a game with 2 to 4 hours worth of anything really interesting. And everything else you're simply admitting is padding. Because without the trial, they were able to spread that out over 60 hours. And now you're like, you know, if the end result is games simply start getting good at the beginning when they should be good for the whole thing, and then people return them, that's what game buyers should do. If game buyers fall for it, then they're a bunch of fucking morons and they deserve to get bamboozled. Okay, we got ourselves a super chat coming in from Jacob Martin. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jaffe, I'm working on my finals for data analytics. Can you give me any neat insights on how data analytics will change gaming in general or VR? Well, data analytics are already changing games, but if you're saying will, ultimately, if you want to speculate, and the reason I know this is...
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
You goddamn right. Listen to me. I mean, it's a big can of worms, and it's a wonderful can of worms. Ultimately, data analytics are going to be your game designers. We're talking well over 50 years. Probably 500. That's probably too much, but before that. But when you have, what do you think the holodeck is, which is what all of these immersive simulations are heading for? When you have the ability for the game to literally know who you are based on your choices, know what you like, what you don't like, what you enjoy, when you get engaged, when you get bored, the game will start creating itself in real time with the express purpose, hopefully, of engaging and entertaining you, probably monetizing you as well, along a very wide path that a great creator has come in and said, I want everyone to have this kind of experience, but to make it brilliant, the AI's got to use data analytics. That is where it's going. Where it is right now is you're seeing little blips and blops of that. There was a game that recently came out. It was on Game Pass. It was from some of the people who did, I think, Borderlands. It flopped. Apparently, it wasn't very good. But they were using AI based on what players were doing and what they had done in the game to determine what kinds of monsters to spawn. It was a PvE multiplayer game. What kind of monsters to spawn, what kind of power-ups to spawn. All of this information was actually funneling into an artificial intelligence director using a spreadsheet of this is what will make the best game. Didn't work, apparently, but that's where we're going, and that's where we should go. It's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. I can't wait. The Truth Teller, thank you, buddy. He drops super chat. He says, the majority of people don't finish games. I do agree it should be entertaining at the beginning and not at the end. I think it should be entertaining or engaging throughout. And I've said this multiple times, like VG says, thank you, by the way, Truth Teller, for that super chat. I appreciate it, buddy. Think about that. And this goes back to data analytics, but think about that. The majority of people don't finish games. How is that just something we've become comfortable with? That's a problem. That's how much money. Like you could take a game and say this AAA game cost us $200 million. And we discovered that only 28% of people finished it. Okay, well, let's make it shorter then and save the money that we spent on it, right? The majority of people don't finish games, says Truth Teller. That's right. Well, eventually that will be something we look back on and laugh and go, can you believe that? Why? The game should be smart enough to know when you're getting bored. The designer should be smart enough to know that they need to pace their game well. So there's always something interesting. It doesn't mean action. It doesn't have to be action. Just to be engaging. It just has to be engaging. Thank you for that super chat, buddy. I very, very much appreciate it. Okay. Jaffe says he... Oh, Lord have mercy. Jaffe says he come... I'm not getting into it with you, but yeah. Why didn't you finish your game of the year? I'm still playing it. I got to... who's that boss? It's the boss in the city. Not the first one who's a ghost, but it's the one that has the face of the tree. Is it Godfried or whatever? I'm fighting him right now. I almost got him dead. But... you know, people have come at me and said, you didn't finish Elden Ring. How can that be your favorite game of all time? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what you think. There is no Bible. There is no list of rules. I've seen people online going, that you can't say that's your favorite game if you didn't finish it. You can't review a game if you didn't. I can do whatever the fuck I want, motherfucker. I don't work for you. This is not a college course where you're going to fail me if I don't follow your stupid fucking incel rules. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I've put over 130 hours into Elden Ring, and I've enjoyed every fucking minute. I started to think I wouldn't finish it because I'm ready to move on to other games. I want to play something else. But I have come back to it, and I'm addicted again. But even if I didn't, fuck you. Fucking moron. Go back to eating your mother out. What? Come on now. Come on now. Why did you say that, Cyclown? Why did you say that, Cyclown? Don't say that about his mother. Hello, Geno Soul. Lord Machiavelli says, is there any hope you'll return to developing? I mean, I'm doing consulting. But you know, I don't have any plans or interest right now, but we'll see. You never know what's down the road. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's down the road. You heard about this? The PS Plus premium games have started to leak a little bit. Here's the ones we know that are looking like they're going to be coming out. Tell me about this. Tell me, would this change your mind, or would this make you subscribe to the highest tier for more than a month? Look at this. PS4 Gamer, you need to finish every game that occupies your top 10. That just seems to make sense if you truly enjoy it. I don't care what you say, PS4 Gamer. I don't care what makes sense to you. I have followed since I was a young wee lad in Ireland, escaping Ireland in the potato famine. I have followed my own internal compass, and so far it's served me pretty fucking well. You think I give a fuck? No offense, I'm not saying for you that's not a respectable position. Of course it is. That's great, PS4 Gamer. If you feel that in order to put something in your top 10 like it matters, you have to have finished it, then do that. You fucking come at me and tell me what I need to do. It's not your top 10. Suck my dick. So tell me, if this is enough. Yeah, Masochista says, Jaffe, you need to get the platinum in all your top 10s. Yeah, well, I guess I don't like games then. You're still in Ireland, Steve Beck. Hello! Do you know Becky Lynch? Everyone there knows Becky Lynch. Okay. I want to know, would this convince you for more than a month, right? Not just these games, but here's the leak. Tekken 2 is coming to the downloadable service if you subscribe at the highest level. PS1, you can download it. Ridge Racer 2, PSP is coming. Most of the Siphon Filter. 1, 2, Dark Mirror from PSP, Logan Shadow is coming. Mr. Driller is coming, and they may have announced one or two other ones. I mean, let's just take Siphon Filter. Now, I loved Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Thought it was great. But all the games that are out right now, I'll just tell you what I'm trying to work my way through, and I love them all. Kirby, Elden Ring, trying to finish Cyberpunk. I'm playing Blood West right now over on Steam, which has gotten really, really good. I'm playing WWE 2K22. Do I really want to set aside 1 or 2 days to play Siphon Filter 1 again? Really? I mean, is that what do you guys think? Are you interested in that? I mean, I'm not saying they're bad games. They're not. I don't think Twisted Metal 1's a bad game for its time. I don't want to fucking play Twisted Metal 1 seriously after the nostalgia wears off. I would actually do it if it had trophies, says Masochista. Yeah, well, if there was another reason to do it, sure. Proto says, Jaffe, there have to be some PSP games you want to replay on the big screen. There really are not. Frank Splins and Planet Cheat both say yes. I would play Siphon Filter again. And Cyclown says I still play a lot. Fair. Totally fair. I agree with Stonerface. Some PS1 games have aged like milk. But yeah, I mean, look, if Sony's reading the market right, good on them, because you guys are going to be real happy, because this, for a leaked list, and they're going to launch with, what did they say, 300, 400 of these? Not, there's more than that, but in terms of the ones at this tier, then I think you guys are going to be real happy. Eddie T says I play my PS1 more lately than PS5. Okay. Would I play the classic Battlefront games, says Zachary, that were on PSP? God, no. Yeah, Brian, it's a very short list, but this isn't the list that was officially given out by Sony. These are just things that are starting to leak. You have to assume they're going to be coming out with a much bigger list. Yeah, I'm like you, John Weston, almost. I've sold every console I've had before getting a new one. I'll tell you who's smart, though, is our very own God of War member, Eddie Torres. If you don't follow him on Twitter, maybe you should. He's a mega serious collector. And he's always posting shit that he picked up. He posted something today. I don't mean to make you the news, Eddie, but I thought this was interesting. He posted something today about a Final Fantasy VII greatest hits shrink wrapped game, right? And he said when he bought it, I guess he bought it as a collector, but he couldn't get the original, or maybe he did, but that's not what he has shrink wrapped, or at least what he was talking about. He said people were like, oh, it's a greatest hits. It's never going to do that well. Well, the greatest hits version in shrink wrap is now it's $600. The funniest part to people my generation, and especially somebody who worked in games that got all this shit for free, for the most part, is the fact that I was walking around saying, oh my God, why didn't I save my comics when I was a fucking kid? I would have so much fucking money. Why didn't I say my fucking games? My God, I'm busy. I don't have time to get into it now. There's still time to get into it because digital's wiping out physical anyway. So there's good investments to be made out there. All I'm saying though is when you can make $600 off a $60 investment, that's incredible. And it's just going to be more and more and more. RPG says, I have Dragon Warrior shrink wrapped. I still want to open it. Yeah, don't fucking open that one. Go sell that in Japan. Make a shit ton of money. So it's interesting times, fellas. Interesting times. And Eddie T is going to be the guy who is the richest of us all. Somebody sent me $165,000 for a 9.0 Twisted Metal long box just sold the other day. $165,000. I used to have a closet full of that shit. Speaking of, PlayStation has formed a game preservation team. That's all we really know. I don't know what it's going to mean. I don't know what it's going to do, but it's interesting that they actually have this now. I'm a little confused because it's not like Sony would make games and then delete them. It's like the game is shipped. Fred, go into the server room and run a magnet over the Twisted Metal 2012. I mean, it's not like they didn't keep these things, but I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to be collecting design documents and interviews and, the code and adjusting the code to make it able to be forward, transferable. I don't know what it is, but that's pretty cool. I'm glad to fucking hear it at a high level. I think we'll have to wait a little bit to see what it is they're actually doing, but that's fucking cool. That's fucking cool. Yeah, they want to avoid a PS3 situation, says Kyle. I mean, again, talking about because you can't get the games native on PS3 on future hardware. It's true. It's true. We'll see what happens. Listen real quick. I want to talk to you guys in a minute about God of War Ragnarok and how I think it may very well be slipping, and I want to tell you why. Before we do that, though, I want to let you know two quick things. My friends. The first thing is our very own God of War member, good sir Spazbo, is a creator over at World of Long Plays. They've been in business for 15 fucking years. They've been capturing some of the best no commentary gameplay on the internet. PS1, Commodore 64, PS2, Dreamcast, Saturn, any arcade games, any and every goddamn thing that you want to see, for the most part, is up there. Head over to World of Long Plays. 616 says Spazbo does good work. He does indeed. If you join our Discord, sometimes he's recording the World of Long Plays, streaming on our very Gabbin' and Games Discord. It's good people. It's good stuff. World of Long Plays, you can find their link in the super chat, in the link tree down below. The other thing that I want to tell you about, and I want you to perk up your ears now because I'm going to play you a sound clip. You've seen the ad going across the bottom of the screen for a little bit for something called the Leaks podcast. The Leaks, and I will be on their show soon in a couple weeks doing their Family Feud video games. But it's a podcast that covers the news, but more than that, they do games about games, trivia games, sound cue games. I'm going to play one for you right now. I want to see who the first person is to get this answer. This is from their last episode a couple weeks back, and it's one of the games they were playing, which was just straight up trivia. They do all kinds of crazy games. Nomad, I'll bring you in a second if you want to put yourself back in there. In the meantime, listen to this. Tell me if you know what game they're talking about. Here you go.
Version of English.
All right, Andy. I'm going all the categories, so we'll do found and translation next, please.
Found in translation.
Yes, please.
All right, this is trivia for you. What game series featured an entry that incorrectly introduces their two main protagonists as Bimmy and Jimmy? Contra, River City Ransom, Double Dragon, or Battletoads?
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon is correct.
Amazing.
Double Dragon 3 in particular.
Neat.
All right, Tim.
I would also like found in translation.
What 90s arcade game features a highly memed boss encounter, quote, "Welcome to Die"? Die Hard Arcade, X-Men Arcade, Final Fight, or Turtles in Time?
Okay, I don't know the answer to that one. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it's really good. You can find the link in the link tree down below this video. Let's see what the answer is, though. Time to Die. Let's see what it was. You guys are saying X-Men Arcade. Okay, here we go.
Oh God. Turtles in Time.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. That one's not stealable, but it is.
It's X-Men. It's Magneto.
It's Magneto. That is correct.
Why
Ryan.
was that
Oh,
not
X-Men
stealable?
versus Magneto. There you go. All right, the latest podcast. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Okay, let us move on. I want to talk about Ragnarok. You didn't hear the question? The question was, sorry, the audio was fucked up. The question was, what arcade game has a boss encounter that when you encounter the boss, he says time to die? And apparently it was an X-Men Magneto game. And again, I'll be on doing Family Feud. I don't know if they're going to be having a version where people can call in. I think it would be good if they let people call in and stuff so they could play as well. But anyway, there you go. There's the story. There's the story. Let's talk about this. So you guys know, let me tell you why this is on my mind, because we've talked about this a little bit in the past. There was this video that Corey put up, and you've seen it. But here it is. I'll put it in the background when we're talking a little bit. But he's standing in the lobby at Sony Santa Monica, and he's talking about it was 420, happy 420. The game came out, I think it was 3 years ago. 2018, so 4 years ago. And we can't reveal anything today, but we just want to let you know we're heads down, we're perfectionists, we're excited. Hang in there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Christopher Gorley calls it Corey's ransom video. That's right. It did look a little, like it did kind of look not very pro, but that's part of the charm. Okay, so anyway, and so at first there was speculation of why this game, Corey didn't say when it's coming out. He didn't even mention 2022. He didn't even say the phrase this year. And so some people have been like, oh, well, Bruno Vasquez, who is the head of animation, tweeted that it was coming. I saw that. Somebody had mentioned also that the social media account of Santa Monica said it was coming in 2022, but I am on the social media account after April 20th when this thing launched, and I don't see anything like that. But we do know that 2022 was said by Bruno Vasquez, okay? The reason this is back on my mind, though, is I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, which is Colin's Sacred Symbols, a couple days ago. And Colin and Chris and Dustin were discussing this video and saying, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think it's going to get delayed or not? And everybody was kind of coming to the table saying, no, Bruno Vasquez wouldn't say that. That's weird that you would say that. I think it's going to ship. I think it's going to ship. I think it's going to ship. Because Bruno Vasquez would know. And that's kind of where they came out, was that these people wouldn't tweet that if they didn't know. Truth Teller says it was not the Santa Monica social media account. It was a community manager. Okay, well, send me that tweet. Send me that tweet. I want to look at it. I want to see when it came out as well. But here's the reason I think, and I don't have any evidence, and if I did, I couldn't tell you, but if I did, I wouldn't be talking about it. Steven Johnson's like, Battletoads. He's on a bit of a delay. He's calling from the International Space Station. But one of the things that was, if you're using, now I haven't worked with Sony for 4 years, and I haven't worked at Sony for 10 years, okay? So things certainly have changed, and this may have changed, but if the evidence, or if the foundation for your argument as, well, why would Bruno Vasquez, who is a high-level member of the team, tweet that out? He must know. I can tell you from my experience, a lot of times we knew a lot of things before the team had that shared with them. We knew when there was going to be a delay, for example. We knew when there was going to be a certain level of marketing that we were going to get, but we couldn't say anything. Just because the head of animation doesn't know anything different does not mean that Corey and Eric and Yumi and Scott Rohde and everybody above Scott doesn't know. And again, I'm not, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is slipping. I'm saying that if you were building your house on the foundation of, but Bruno said, I would argue that really, as much as Bruno is obviously brilliant at what he does, he probably doesn't know if it's slipping or not. He's probably being told, hey, Yumi, are we still on? Oh, yeah, we're totally on. Yumi can't say anything yet, possibly. There's all kinds of wheels that are, or plates that are spinning that are dependent on people knowing when they need to know it. So I would kind of take that and put it over there about that's your foundation. However, then you're left with, if you believe that, and you should, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is in a second. But if you believe what I'm saying, which is just because Bruno doesn't not understand, he's clearly a smart guy, but just because Bruno doesn't know it's slipping doesn't mean it's not slipping. Then you got to go back to the video then. I mean, seriously, ask yourself this. If Bruno is comfortable saying it's coming out in 2020, think about this, seriously. Bruno has been given permission and is in the know that this game is coming out in 2022. The community manager, or somebody in the chat, no one sent me anything, but let's assume another person has come out and said this is 2022. Okay, so the creative director of Sony Santa Monica, who is the executive director or whatever on Ragnarok, and who was the director on 2018's God of War, Bruno knows, the community manager knows, and they're comfortable telling you. But Corey making a video that is not from his home, where he's crying like a baby like he does, but he's making a video, wink, he's making a video for Sony on the PlayStation blog or the Santa Monica blog, and he doesn't say anything, and you think none of these people that sat there, Corey's not riffing, it's like, okay, what are the points I need to hit? Hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this. What about date? Do we want to say we'll let you know the release date, but we're still on for 2022? Don't say that. Come on. You think that? Come on. I mean, unless Sony has changed so much that they just work in crazy land now, Sony doesn't just, oh yeah, we should have mentioned 2022. Let's get Bruno to do it. Come on. But think about this. This video comes out, there's speculation. How much effort would it be for Santa Monica Studios to tweet, sorry, Corey had to go catch a plane to meet the Queen. I don't know what the fuck he's doing these days. He forgot to mention 2022 still on, baby. Where is it? This is slipping. Here's my money where my mouth is. I will, and this, if you know me, you know this is painful, so I'm going to suffer. It's not conspiracies. Fuck you, Kylock, you piece of shit. They want to, look, first off, let me tell you what I'll do. I will wear a Donald Trump Make America Great MAGA hat for an entire week of streams and videos, and I won't mention it. So I'll run the risk of people being able to come to my stream and say, see, I told you he was right-wing or whatever. I'll fucking wear it, and I won't even mention it. You'll just know why I'm wearing it if this comes out in 2022. Okay? But fuck you. And look at these guys in the chat. I know you want to believe it. Kyle says, okay, well, Kyle's joking. Okay, good. RPG says, dude, we all heard it. I will wear it. I will buy it and I will wear it. They are delaying the DLC. They are delaying Ragnarok. It will be coming out 2023. And it will probably be great. It will probably be great. I have no doubt. You guys don't even know the magic of Eric Williams. God of War, Kratos. Am I the creator of Kratos? Yes. Charlie Wynn is too. Cory Barlog is too. Shannon is too. You don't sit in the god chairs of who birthed this legendary icon without having a chair for Eric Williams. I am not doubting this game. But am I doubting the fact that you motherfuckers think it's 2022? You goddamn right. You goddamn right I am. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. 9 Live says Jeff Grubb will come after you. What is he going to get Cheeto sauce on me? What the fuck do I care? No, Brian East is now trying to up it. He says you have to get a hat and a Trump poster. Maybe I'll get an ad. I'll run an ad for his social media and I'll have the hat. But I'm not putting a poster back there. Come on now. It doesn't matter why, Miguel. Miguel says if it slips to 2023, it's because they don't want to compete with the rest of heavy hitters arriving in the second half. Whatever reason is irrelevant. The fact is, this video and Bruno tweeting has nothing, it tells you what you need to know. It tells you what you need to know. I'll put a Trump life standee behind me if you buy it and send it to me. I ain't buying it, Eddie, but I'll I'll proudly display it as someone who is good for his word. No, I hate Trump. I fucking hate the guy, Kylot. All right, let's move on. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I have great faith in the sacred symbol guys. I think they called it wrong here. Darth Nugget says, is Colin Moriarty going to be an entrant in your Jaffe Mania event? I am not going to tell you everyone who's going to be there because I want you to have some surprises when people walk out in the Royal Rumble. For now, what you know, it's me, Corey, Jimbo Ryan, Hideo Kojima. Brian E. says the internet never forgets. I don't want him to forget. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is me and my experience with Sony and my experience in the industry and just my experience as a logical human being going, I think this is going to slip. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't, it's not like I lose, a year of my life. But yeah, I'll take the L. I'm wrong a lot of times. I'm right a lot of times too. So fuck you. But yeah, but I'm not going to tell you. There's these guys and there's extra ones. You know what? I'm going to give you a hint. I'll show you one other guy. You guys tell me, then we're going to get to a little bit more news. You guys tell me if you know who this fighter is. I'll bring him up in just a second. Jaffe, if you were in... No, Eternal. No. See, this is ridiculous. First off, Eternal says your experience from like 14 years ago. Let me say three things. About that. Number one is I have worked with Sony with them as recently as 4 years ago. I worked with and for them for over 20 years, starting in 92. That's a hell of a lot more than you've worked with them, number one. So even if my experience was, as you incorrectly say, built on the foundation of something that happened 14 years ago, which it wasn't, it's still more than you guys are offering. But beyond that, I'm giving you logic. It's not like I showed up and said, I know Sony, and because I know Sony, I'm right. No, that should at least help you take my argument more seriously than just some random guy you don't know. But then I went into the logic behind why. You don't need to have worked with Sony to go, why is Cory Barlog releasing a video that is absolutely an official video coming out, from Sony and not mentioning the date? And then everyone's like, what about the date? And Bruno, amazing animator, amazing team member, you couldn't make the game without him. It's like, hey, let Bruno take care of it. And nowhere on social media does Santa Monica or PlayStation or another video, but let's just take it as a tweet. It would cost nothing. Say, oh, hey, we forgot. It's 2022. That's still on, baby. Get ready. You're going to love it. Really? You have to work at Sony? You have to work at Sony to know that? Come on now. Do I believe in the Illuminati? No. Eddie Jordan, thank you, buddy. He's been a member for 12 months. Thank you for that, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, Jaffe, where the hell is my mug? Oh, your mug is shipped. Your mug is shipped, but it's not white. That was the problem. So it's coming. It's black. I should have it in 2 days. Jill will send it out Wednesday, and I'm signing it with a silver Sharpie because it's the only thing that comes up on the mug. But they would not ship me a white one. They kept saying, oh, yeah, it's white. I'm like, it doesn't look white on the website. Why can't I make a white mug? They're like, it's white. And they're like, yeah, we don't make white mugs anymore. I'm like, fuck you. But yes, it's coming. I hope you don't mind that the color is a little off. Hey, I assure you it's coming. I can show you the receipt. Here, I'll show it. Fuck it. I'll show it to you later. I will show it to you if you want to hit me up I'll send you a DM. I'm going to show you this other guy who's coming to fight. Let me bring up some other news real quick. I'm just going through a bunch of news stories. Let's just talk about this real quick. Let me turn this down. All right, fellas, hang on, hang on. I did something. Yeah, all this will be edited together. I'll take the video down right when it's over. I'll edit it together. I'll put it back. But we were wrapping up anyway. Fuck you, Yusuf. I want to see if you can guess who this guy is why. Hang on a minute. And if this doesn't work, I'll tell you something real quick. Okay, let's try it. Is there any possibility to create a character that could overcome the originality and charisma of Kratos, says Lord Machiavelli? Yeah. Of course. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Yeah, I'll turn it down. Something happened. I hit the wrong button. Hang on. If I can. Let me turn it down. One second. All right. Is that better? You sent me the community manager info to my Twitter. Okay, let me check that while I'm loading this up real quick. One moment. I just want to see if you guys know who this is. They're doing game jams. Who is? Alex D, I will put that up on the Discord soon. I think what I'm going to do, though, is say that only members, I'll sign things for members. If they send to the P.O. box and they send me all the return stuff, so it's real easy for me and Jill to do. Kylak, do me a favor. I will answer your patronizing questions if you call in. I will give you a phone number to call in with or the Discord. But I will absolutely answer your dumb questions. But you have to call in at this point because you're kind of annoying me. And it's clear you want to troll, and I will do that if you have the guts. I can't include Jade Raymond. It's not sexism, Jacob Martin. It's it's that you cannot do you cannot do men versus women, which sucks, which really fucking sucks. Okay, let me bring this up to you guys real quick. But I would do that. No. Again, Kylock is welcome to call in, but I guarantee you he's either going to shut up now or he's not going to call in. Okay, here. He wants the number. All right. Here is the number. Don't dial it yet. I don't have it set up yet. There's the phone number. But I'm going to do this first so you can call, but no one's going to answer. Okay, let me show you. I just want to see if you know who this is. Because this is, I'm working with some guy making these who's really good, and then I'm trying to make a couple of them, and I'm not really good. So I just want to get a sense of what you guys think. All right, here we go. We're going to start the match. Thank you, guys. Jorge Figueroa, he says, Jaffe, did you hear Elon Musk? Fuck you, you motherfucker. Did you hear Elon Musk is buying Xbox and making Halo great? I read it on Twitter, so it's true. Fuck you, motherfucker. But thank you for your ducats. I appreciate it. Jokes aside, love Twisted Metal. Thanks, buddy. Keep being awesome, good sir. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Thank you for your generosity. And go fuck yourself. But I do appreciate it, Jorge. Jarvie Rocks, good to see you, buddy. He says, Jaffe, have you got the Gray Skies War of Worlds game yet? I would love to see your reaction. I don't know if it was you or not, but somebody put that up. Thank you for the super chat, bud. And being a God of War member, of course. Somebody put that up. And it looks hideously awful, and I will be getting it, but I haven't bought it yet, but I'll be buying it soon, and I will stream it, absolutely. All right, tell me if you guys know who this is. Let me just move this out of the way, and I'll get you the number. I'll put you on in a second. Okay. Display. Let's do that one. That'll work. Okay. I'll look to the chat. Do you guys? Yeah. Don't dial the number yet, because I don't have it turned on. Right now I'm doing this. Do you know who these two people are? Jacob Martin says Half-Life. Gabe. Okay. Okay, so everybody gets Gabe. What about the guy on the right? You guys know the guy on the right? Kojima. Okay. I want you to see, now this matchup is, I'm not going to fight a whole match. I'm just going to show you, because Kojima moves around like a little fucking spider. He's like lightweight, but he's fucking fast. And Gabe is Gabe. Again, if any members want to control any of these characters, hit me up on Discord. This will be next weekend. I'm not a Joy Division fan necessarily. Hang on. Hang on. I'm not controlling it yet. But that is actually that's a T-shirt that Kojima has, though. I made both of these guys. I mean, look at him. Look at him. Damn. Come on now. Goddamn right. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Look at that. I mean, Gabe's a big man. It's not Colonel Sanders. All right, anyway, there you go. So you guys could tell who they were. Great. All right, so this is next week. You'll see. And if there's anybody you want in the match, hit me up. I'm not going to tell you who's in all the matches yet, but you never know who's going to show up next weekend. And if you want to control any of them, hit me up as well. If you're a member, of course. No, they didn't give me permission to use their likeness. Why? They're public figures, though, so I don't need that permission. Okay. But hit me up in the Discord, not here. I'm not taking any notes right here. Okay, let me turn on the phone. And I'm going to see what this Kylock is going on about. Okay, let me go to this. All right, there's the number. Hang on. Don't call yet. No one's there to answer. Okay. All right, the phone is open. If you want to call Kylock, in the meantime, I'll be talking with the chat. Bitcoin Man versus Dollar Man. Man, ugh. You saw that Reggie Fils-Aimé came out supporting blockchain. We'll talk about that on the next show. But I have Caveman. I've been playing a little bit of the vampire shooter. What's it called? Masquerade Blood Hunt or something? Yeah, it's good. I'm not a big multiplayer online guy, but it's good. Kyrock, what the fuck? Let me bring in Sharif while we're waiting. Hang on. Sharif, it's Jaffe. What's up, man? Sharif. All right, well, I'm here. You think, well, yeah, Blood Hunt is totally lacking content, but it just came out, right? It is free to play. Yeah. What's up, man? Wait, hang on. You're really, whenever you call in, the connection's not very good. My thoughts on what?
On the Batman movie.
Oh, Batman. Yeah, we watched Batman with the members yesterday. The Batman. What I will say about the Batman is I really, really, really loved it for the first 2/3. I thought it was great. I loved how grounded it was. There's a documentary on these guys who literally dress up as superheroes and they go around, in the real world. It's really depressing and shit. One of them's here in San Diego. You can actually find, I think it's on Netflix or Apple, but it's interesting. And this wasn't that, but this felt pretty fucking close to that. It felt like this is what it would be like if someone actually sort of did this. But then the last third of the movie was a real letdown for me. It became a big Hollywood, like we need this giant set piece, and suddenly the whole city's flooding, and it just got, it kind of missed, it jumped off of its tone and became, it almost like you could smell the executive notes all over the fucking thing. So it started great, and then I thought it shat the bed at the end.
Oh, great. Because I'm going to watch it. I thought I wanted to hear your thoughts on the movie first.
Yep. That's it, buddy. Thank you for everything, Sharif. Hey, call back. Next time you call back, see if you can turn up your volume. It's really hard to hear you.
I will try.
All right, man. Good to talk to you, sir.
All right.
I don't know where this guy is. The phone's on. He's not calling. So I'll give him a couple more minutes. But what a coward. What a coward. He said he'd call. He didn't call. He said he'd call. He didn't call. Kylock is scared. You goddamn right he's scared. I give these people an opportunity to punch back, or I give them a chance to express themselves, their views. And frankly, I want to talk to the guy. When somebody comes at you that aggressively, you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong about something. Maybe I missed the idea here. What don't I know? What a coward. What a coward. Quinn O'Connor, I need to get that one too. That's another game that I want to play is Rogue Legacy 2. I loved the first one. Quinn says Rogue Legacy 2 is crack. I just wanted to say that somewhere. I love the Batman, but I'm a sucker for all comic book movies. I'm with you. Okay, maybe this is him. Maybe this is him calling in. Let's see. Hang on.
Call from.
Hey, what's going on?
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, Jaffe? What's going on? This is Ray.
Who's Ray?
I'm the guy that's calling.
This is not Kylock, though. Your name is Ray in the chat?
No, I'm not in the chat. I just called. I'm looking on YouTube. I just dialed straight. I'm out of order. I'm sorry about that.
No. I don't mind. We're just waiting for a guy who's being a dick called Kyrock to call in, but I think he's chickened out. But anyway, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to ask you a question because there's been a discussion going around in the community, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
All right. I'm looking at this article from November 25th, 2020, VG 24/7. It's entitled, Xbox Series X and S manufacturing started later than PS5 to implement specific AMD RDNA 2 tech.
Okay.
And it talks about how Microsoft started manufacturing their consoles later than Sony, and Sony had more units at launch to sell than Microsoft.
Okay.
Right? And so, reading this, it seems to me that Sony took the lead at the beginning of the generation because they had more stock. And nobody said, you got to put an asterisk next to Sony's lead because Microsoft had less stock. Now we're at a point where Microsoft's selling more because they've got more stock, and Sony has less. And everyone's saying you've got to put an asterisk next to Microsoft's catch-up because they haven't really taken the lead. But they're saying you can't really take the fact that Microsoft is catching up seriously because Sony has less stock. When the generation started, Microsoft had less stock. Those don't seem to be like the same standards being applied there. Am I missing something?
Well, it depends who you're talking to. So I think at the very beginning, there were these assumptions because Sony was already in the top position that would just continue. So maybe it didn't occur to anybody to put an asterisk. It's like, well, this is what normal is. They ruled the roost with PS4 and 2 and 1. Maybe this is just normal. But I mean, ultimately, here's what I can tell you. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't really care who, quote, wins. But what I happen to like the vision. Here's what I'll tell you. I like the vision for Microsoft more than Sony's vision. But I like the execution from Sony way more than Microsoft. So I'm like, whatever, just fucking entertain me. But I'm a guy who 3 times a week on this stream, I'll talk about sales of software. And you can't really talk about it if you don't put the asterisks next to both of them. So like this week in the UK, we've seen Gran Turismo 3 jump back, or Gran Turismo 7 jump to the number 3 position again, and Horizon Forbidden West is number 4. Well, last week, Horizon Forbidden West wasn't even in the top 10, and Games Industry Biz, where we got the article from, is saying that is, you can attribute that to the fact that there's more stock this week of PS5s in the UK, which is where they're doing the data from. Last week, we were like, well, did Horizon drop out of the top 10 because it doesn't have the legs of Elden Ring? What's causing this? You really, you don't know. So, I mean, I think the right thing to do is just to throw your hands up and be agnostic about it and go, until this stock situation gets sorted out, how much of this is Xbox has Game Pass? How much of this is Xbox has Game Pass and what they're promising versus what they're currently delivering? How much of this is stock? Who the fuck knows? I mean, I don't even think Sony can tell you.
I mean, even more importantly, who the fuck cares? That's life.
Well,
right?
I mean, I care.
If you win, let me tell you, if you win the AFC Championship game with your star quarterback and he gets his leg broken for the Super Bowl,
yeah,
and then the NFC team comes in and whoops your ass in the Super Bowl, we don't put an asterisk next to that ring. You lost. That's life. So whatever the problem is,
but it depends.
Whatever the problem.
But I would disagree with that in the sense that it depends what you're talking about, right? So I talk about it in the context of why are people making decisions that they make, and in that, how does that affect the medium, right? So I care in the sense that I'm of the mind, for example, that Game Pass is offering something really compelling to a large percentage of gamers. There's a lot of gamers that would disagree with me on that. I want to know, I want sales to reflect desire of product sooner than later because I want to know where the medium is going, where the industry is going, where the art form is going. But yeah, you're right. If you're talking about ultimately who has the money in their bank and you're just judging that, then yes, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, it's whoever wins, and them's is the breaks. But if you're looking at it from more of a game design philosophy, why are the modern audiences responding to what they're responding to? I care because both companies are offering very different products right now.
And I think they're serving very different people with very different desires. I think Sony is going to have the more refined gaming experiences, but they're going to have far fewer of them because they take longer to make and they cost more to make. So they may have like maybe 2 or 3 of those at most a year.
Yeah.
And if Microsoft's going to be pumping out a AAA game, every month or every quarter, or every few months, they're going to have a lot more of them, but they're not all going to be God of War Ragnarok. I think
right.
there's probably a space for both, just like Nintendo's got their space.
Yeah, I have been saying since the beginning that Sony is like a high-end steakhouse and Xbox is like McDonald's, but nothing's wrong with either one of them. They both serve different markets or the same market when they need different things. All right, man. I appreciate the call, though. Call back anytime. Good to hear from you. Thanks, buddy. Well, fellas, I guess that's it because whatever this fucking guy's name is, Ravak, whatever the fuck, is clearly a coward. Kylock is his name. Think about that for a minute. Think about the lack of fortitude for some of these people. Right? Think about that. They can't... They can do it behind the keyboard, but the minute you say, I would like to talk to you, I mean, that's a real problem. I know you think I'm doing a bit. That's a real problem. Because does that exist in his life in other places? Does he see the pretty lady if he's into the ladies and not talk to her? Does he say, oh, yes, sir, no, ma'am, whatever, to his boss and then goes into the break room and cusses out the person he works for, but he doesn't have the stones to actually stand up to him? That's interesting to me. Lord Machiavelli says, is there any way to take down Michael Myers? Yeah, but not with the fucking people who live in, where is it, Haddonfield? You see the last, I mean, did you literally see the last Halloween? It was the dumbest goddamn thing. Michael Myers is surrounded by the townspeople. They've got him. He's surrounded. They've got axes and guns and weapons. The sheriff is there. And literally, they attack him one at a time. The cop goes up, gets killed. It's like round robin. Now it's your turn. That person gets killed. Now it's this guy's turn. You've got the killer. This is not fucking high school wrestling where you got to follow the rules. Get in there and kick his fucking ass. Kill him. So I think he's killable, but not by those fucking morons. Scott Woodford, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, what was Kyle like going to debate you about? I just wanted him to call me because he was continuously picking on me in the chat and being a dick. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be mad at you, but let's talk about that. Why are you so angry? Why do you think these things bother me when in essence I want to really get to the bottom of it? And he's like, okay, I'll call in. Give me the number. So I put the number up there and he didn't call me. Fellas, that has been Gabbin' and Games for Sunday, a Sunday show. What are you talking about? The 1st of May. The 1st of May, I'll be back 2 or 3 times this week with Gabbin' and Games. I'll be back with game streams. I will be back. I'm going to start setting interviews up again. And then I will also be doing the live watch of IGN's Rogue Jam. We'll just be doing episodes 2 and 3 together probably on Tuesday. In the meantime, though, fellas, be well. Thank you, members. Thank you, mods. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for the good conversation. What do you mean you're going to miss me? Where are you going, Troy? You moving? You leaving? All right. Be well, everybody. I'm off to watch The Good Doctor. Thank you, Jerry A, for the super chat. Thank you, Rob the Mod. Thank you, RPG. You guys are amazing. Don't forget, Jaffe Mania next week. Let me know if you want to be one of the fighters. Come on, I gotta fill it up. Jerry A, thanks. Stay frosty. Thank you, sir. I very much appreciate it. You guys be well. Bye, everybody.